You're scrolling through Facebook. It's a normal day. Maybe you're checking in on your friends, dodging ads, zoning out between tasks, and then, without warning, a video auto-plays. A man walks into a mosque. He's armed, and you're watching a massacre live. You slam your phone down. You're shaking. You didn't choose to see this. You'll never unsee it. This happened to thousands of people on a platform that was supposed to be about connection. This is the story of what happens when one man, Mark Zuckerberg, gets unimaginable power, loses sight of humanity, and decides he wants to be remembered not as the guy who broke the internet, but as the genius who saved it. Only he's not saving anything. Let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg. What does he really want? And what is the cost for the rest of us? If you're new here, hi, I'm Evie, and if you like knowing what's going on in the world and deep diving into powerful people, while also having a laugh, then you should subscribe because we're here for you 5 days a week. Get involved, it's cool to be smart and funny. What's the biggest flex in a tech hiring war? How about throwing $100 million at someone in a cold email? Yep, Mark Zuckerberg is really trying to stack his AI dream team right now. He's been sliding into the inboxes of some of the smartest minds in the field, offering them massive paydays to join his new division called Superintelligence Labs. Zuck's already grabbed top AI minds like Lucas Bayer from OpenAI, Roming Pang from Apple, and Alexander Wang, the ex-CEO of Scale AI. Wang alone cost Meta billions. He's also desperately trying to piss off Sam Altman, steal his team, and even steal him. But it hasn't worked. Sam said, it's like, okay, Zuckerberg is doing some new insane thing. What's next? This insane new thing? Build AI that's actually smarter than humans. No big deal. Now you might be thinking, doesn't Meta already make billions with those creepy ad algorithms and recommendation engines? True, but this isn't about ads anymore. Building God-level AI is the new race in tech, and companies like Google and OpenAI have been fighting for that top spot for a minute. Zuck might be late to the party, but with moves like this, he's suddenly looking like a real contender. One thing that might slow him down, though, is this $8 billion lawsuit, which went to trial this week. A quick rundown of what's going on here. Spoiler alert, it's not good. In 2018, Facebook shareholders sued the company, saying leadership knowingly broke a 2012 FTC deal by letting apps access users' friends' data without consent. That FTC agreement required Facebook to protect user privacy and be honest about how data was shared. But Zuckerberg and others allegedly ignored it, letting apps collect info on users' friends, even if those friends never used the app. The scandal exploded with Cambridge Analytica, where millions of users' data was harvested and possibly used to influence elections. Facebook also made secret data sharing deals with companies run by board members like Peter Thiel and Reed Hastings, despite promising better privacy. Yay! So what does Mark Zuckerberg actually want? He's one of the richest people on planet Earth. He owns a shit ton of Hawaii. He seems to have a happy life with his wife and his kids. What else is there to achieve? Why do all this? Let's try and get to the bottom of it. Some people see Mark as some sort of tech genius. I disagree. He got lucky with one hit, one good idea, Facebook, and he spent the billions it made him trying and mostly failing to look like an innovator. Let's take a look at Meta's greatest successes. Instagram, bought it. WhatsApp, bought that too. Meta Quest also bought, and honestly, not exactly a household must-have. Llama, just another AI chasing after OpenAI's tail. Not exactly what I would call a glowing list of original ideas. What Zuck has really done is take social features that already existed. Think MySpace, LiveJournal, Friendster, and he built versions that people liked. Then he turned it into a data mining machine and made a fortune selling your info. And amorally letting Facebook convince your parents that 5G towers are invading their brains, vaccines are bad, and Hillary Clinton is the devil. There's also the fact that Meta will just straight up steal shit, like stories. You know, your little post that disappears after 24 hours? Well, that was Snapchat's idea. In fact, it's what made Snapchat so popular in the first place. Zuck figured out how to chuck stories on Instagram, and now they're a huge part of the app. That's the legacy. Copy, monetize, repeat. His big new ideas? total flops. Remember when Facebook renamed itself Meta and went all in on the metaverse? They poured billions into virtual reality meetings, legless avatars, and a digital world that nobody asked for. And how's that going? How is that going? In April, the company announced layoffs in its Reality Labs division, which handles all things VR, including the Quest headset and Oculus game studios. That includes teams working on titles like Supernatural, their VR fitness game. No word on exactly how many people were cut, but Reality Labs just racked up a $5 billion loss last quarter. So yeah, not exactly the future Zuckerberg promised. Some of us remember why Zuckerberg rebranded Facebook in the first place. It wasn't visionary, it was damage control. The Facebook name had become toxic, tied to misinformation, election meddling, and a platform that felt like a digital landfill. Meta was supposed to be a fresh start, a shiny distraction. But why did Facebook get so toxic? Simple. It became the go-to tool for spreading lies and rage, from local bullies to full-blown authoritarian regimes. And somewhere along the way, Zuckerberg forgot the one thing that actually made Facebook work in the first place: your friends. These days, if you're scrolling on Facebook, the 5th post might be from a friend, maybe the 10th, and everything else will be brands, groups, ads, or just random junk from people you don't even follow. It is not a space for connection anymore. It's an ad billboard with a side of unchecked misinformation. And it actually gets worse. In court, we found out that Zuck had a crazy idea in 2022 to literally delete everyone's friend connections and turn Facebook into a follow the creator app like TikTok or Instagram, as if people weren't already burned out. This is a man who built a social network around connection and then forgot what made it valuable. As a New Zealander, I have a weird relationship with Facebook. On March 15th, 2019, a self-proclaimed white nationalist opened fire on worshippers at mosques in Christchurch. 50 people were killed, 41 were wounded, one of whom died 6 weeks later, leaving the total death toll at 51. For a country of only about 5 million, this level of death in one event was unfathomable to us. It's been described as New Zealand's darkest day, and it shook the entire country to its core. And the horrific and tragic ordeal was streamed live on Facebook by the perpetrator. He was able to use the live stream feature throughout the entire attack, and although the original video was taken down 12 entire minutes after it already ended, Facebook had to remove over 1.5 million other copies of the video. It was seen by so many people, some without warning, just popping up on our feeds. I was one of those people, and to this day, I can still see with my waking eyes a man murdering my fellow countrymen. This never, ever should have happened. So you would think that Facebook would take this super seriously, right? Not really. Let's have a look at what they did at the time. First, they kind of ghosted us. The hate group the perpetrator was part of was still up, and Facebook was remaining pretty tight-lipped. New Zealand Privacy Commissioner John Edwards openly shared an email he sent to Facebook execs at the time, demanding more action. It would be very difficult for you and your colleagues to overestimate the growing frustration and anger here at Facebook's facilitation and inability to mitigate the deep, deep pain and harm from the live stream massacre of our colleagues, family members, and countrymen broadcast over your network. Your silence is an insult to our grief. In a statement, Facebook said it would be cracking down on how people use Facebook Live. They said if you share violating content, like statements from terrorist groups without context, you could get blocked from going live for up to 30 days. In response to people uploading edited versions of the Christchurch attack to dodge the filters, Facebook put $7.5 million into research to help automatically catch banned content. It's not nothing, but $7.5 million for a company as big as them, to a lot of people it didn't seem like a lot. And no apology. On May 15, 2019, New Zealand and France launched the Christchurch Call. The call is a unique global effort that brings together governments, tech companies, and civil society to fight online extremism. Today, the initiative includes 55 governments, the EU, 19 tech platforms, and over 50 partner organizations. They've made real progress, like new policies, crisis protocols, and better tools, but the threat remains. Even 55 governments can't seem to get Facebook to not be a cesspit of horror, which I think provides a bit of insight into the type of person Mark really is. At no point has he ever said he feels bad about it. Nothing at all. All of this to say, I don't think Mark is a man who understands the normal dynamics of human friendships and interactions, which is ironic and somehow fitting that he made Facebook. Careless People, A Cautionary Tale of Power, Greed, and Lost Idealism is a memoir by Sarah Wynne Williams, a former Facebook public policy director, and the book does not hold back. It offers a scathing inside look at Facebook's culture, slamming how the company handled major global crises, and even accuses Mark Zuckerberg of trying to censor content to please the Chinese government. Wynne Williams also alleges toxic workplace behavior by top execs, including Sheryl Sandberg and Joel Kaplan. After Meta reportedly tried to block her from promoting the book, public backlash pushed it to the top of the New York Times bestseller list. And by March 2025, it had hit #1 and landed Wynne Williams a spot testifying before the US Senate, where she doubled down on claims about Zuckerberg and censorship. One of the juicier but very much less reported takeaways from Careless People is this. Most of Meta's top execs don't even use Facebook. Their posts are written by comms teams, and their real social lives are in group chats or actual real life, not the platform they supposedly believe in. And if they ever were regular Facebook users, that is ancient history. And as for Mark, he's basically a dictator inside the company, thanks to Meta's dual-class shares structure. Regular shareholders get Class A shares, 1 vote each, but Zuck and his inner circle hold Class B shares, which come with 10 votes apiece. That means no matter how the company performs or how unhappy investors get, they can't vote him out. He's effectively untouchable, and you can therefore trace every bad decision straight back to him. Now, the hard work of the Christchurch call and the tears of my country mean nothing, because in January of this year, Mark made some big and controversial changes at Meta. He scrapped the independent fact-checking systems across Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, replacing it with community notes from random users. He also relaxed rules on offensive content, making it easier for hate speech targeting women, LGBTQI+ people, and others to stay up. Critics say the changes are a clear gift to Trump and the GOP, who have long complained about censorship. Meta's $1 million donation to Trump's inauguration and the addition of UFC CEO and Trump pal Dana White to its board only adds to that impression. But why? Why bother? What does Mark actually want? He's desperately tried to convince us in the last couple years that he's actually really cool. Flashy outfits, getting ripped, wearing gold chains and shit. It's embarrassing, yes, but also really confusing. Why do you care what we think, Mark? We hate you for things you did, decisions you made, actions you chose. It was never anything to do with your look. Yeah, we roasted you for looking and acting like a robot, but a gold chain ain't gonna fix that, buddy. So what does Mark Zuckerberg really want? The lawsuits, the desperate AI hiring spree, the rebrands, the censorship accusations, the metaverse flop, the political pandering, the performative gym selfies. Mark wants legacy. He has the money, he has the power, he has the platform, literally. What he doesn't have is respect. He wants to be remembered as a genius, but everything he does suggests he doesn't even know how to be human. And that's the tragedy, because Facebook at its core was about being human, about connection. But he lost sight of that a long time ago. Yeah, that's right, I'm a Zuck hater. Ooh, who would have thought? If you like this video, check out the deep dives I've done into Elon Musk's childhood, Donald Trump's childhood, Vladimir Putin's childhood, just like kind of interesting context of how they ended up like that. Bye.